now we're diving into new things, which is basically ushered in somewhat by neighborhoods like Bayview, like Walker's Point, that started changing things. So it seemed like the right fit as far as saying, well, where is this happening? Where is this movement happening? And where are things changing? And where could this work? And this was one of those locations on the map. I wanted a more honest representation of what the food was.
So you value authenticity?
Absolutely. I value authenticity, and I respect everybody's play on a cuisine. I think that's what makes food and this industry interesting and fun for everybody, is that you keep seeing new things, new ways to present things, but at the same time, it's important that we be fair and respectful to what the food and the ingredients and things are.
Right. So being in the service industry and like relying on this area around us and beyond to like keep us busy, and what was your engagement with the community before you opened this place? Like when you knew this was a location, was there anybody in the community that was against it? Was specifically in the building, were the residents okay with it?
No, I think everybody embraced it. It's the wonderful thing about Milwaukee. The restaurant scene and the people in it are generally very supportive of one another. The neighborhood itself posed no opposition to it and embraced us and were supportive as well. And no, all the contrary. I mean, people are excited to see new things come in, things that are good for the neighborhood, good for the economy, and bring new wealth to the neighborhood as well.
How do you think they feel now that we've been here for over a year and a half now? Like, are they happy with the transformation? Is there enough of a transformation because of this place that they've noticed?
I think the neighborhood, and disregarding the fact that it's us for 1 second, whomever comes in here and incorporates their vision to the neighborhood, as long as it's, again, respectful of the people who live here and the community and the identity that the neighborhood has, that it makes some sort of contribution to that without damaging its identity, and is contributing socially and economically to the neighborhood. I think that's the neighborhood is very welcoming to it.
Kind of going off of that, we also have been focusing on this building and the buildings in the surrounding area as buildings that have been kind of reconstructed after deindustrialization, but still kept with the same like bare bones. So I know this place has transformed a lot even since I've been here, but when you first opened this place, like what state was this building in, or this property?
To be fair, the property was in very good conditions. From my understanding and my recollection, I believe the current owner purchased the building sometime around the 70s or 80s, I want to believe. And that's when a major transformation happened. And transformation in terms of updating and making the necessary adjustments to have a business running in here were done. One of the interesting things that he did was basically the floor that you see right now was all the wall before. So he stripped the wall. He is a roofer, the owner of the building, and he has a roofing business. He took all the wall, stripped it, and put it on the floor. So our floor is basically what used to be the walls, and then he restored the brick beneath, which is a Cream City brick that you see right now, and he basically sandblasted the ceiling as well to get those nice exposed beams that you see.
So this was here since the 70s?
Yeah, well, this as you see it right now, were the updates that were made, I believe in the late 70s, 80s is when that transformation, when aesthetically the structure that you see right now was made. I mean, the only thing comparable I can say is that I'm familiar with is the building that we purchased on 6th and Bruce, which is basically 100-year-old building. It's beautiful. It's the one that we're making into a restaurant, bar, and hotel. and we basically took the frame there. We've kept the brick of it and the shape of it, but inside basically we've gutted it completely, as if to say new flooring, new plumbing, new walls, new electric. But the facade itself and the structure we've maintained. It's a 100-year-old building. It's beautiful. So those things give identity to the neighborhood, and those are the kind of things that I think are important to the people who live here as well, because it is part of, you know, who we are, and those things need to be conserved.
I think I had a couple more questions, and kind of in the same direction. I have seen this neighborhood, with the research I've done, as something that's being revitalized while respecting the identity of what this neighborhood used to be, and hopefully will always be. And as a business owner, 2 businesses in this area, what does the revitalization of this neighborhood mean to you?
I think it's, you know, it's right now there's in terms of revitalizing, there's a program that's going on that's basically associated with Walker's Point and the harbor down here, south of what would be First Street, you know, going west of what is, east of what is First Street, and going south towards there, to revitalize that whole harbor area. And it's, you know, I think now everything is a question of opening the doors a bit more, getting a demographic of people, and, you know, a socioeconomic demographic that isn't familiar with this neighborhood really, and get them exposed and familiar with all the cool things that are happening out here, and not only in terms of coming to visit us, but coming to invest in us as well. And I think that's the next step to the revitalization of this neighborhood. So
I know a lot of people come in for dinner here when the sun's still up and leave when the sun has gone down. And even your employees come in when the sun's come up and leave. Like, you yourself probably do the same. Like, how do you think this business affects the way this neighborhood runs in the morning versus it in the evening?
Well, I think it's with everything, it takes time. I you know, there's a lot of, as the neighborhood grows, there's more offices, there's more people with, there's more traffic in terms of day jobs and people working here during the day, where it's not so much, where it opens the possibility of, as we would say, doing lunch services and being open during the day, etc. I think it's just a question of time, as people become more familiar with it, as people, you know, as you see real estate go up around here and people seek their living space out here, more and more young people are coming to live out here because it's a cool place to live, it's a nice place to live. I think as that happens more and more, you're going to see more traffic during the day, and you're going to see more things happening during the day. Right now, it's a restaurant road situation, and you have some of the best new places to eat basically on 2nd Street, and that's what people know it for. So I think now it becomes an issue of people transitioning into the day and moving out here and working out here and looking for more options and activities during the day in this neighborhood, which will come with time. So
how do you see this neighborhood transitioning over like the next 30 years? Do you think it'll become more or less an extension of the Third Ward type of neighborhoods, or do you think it'll be something all new to Milwaukee, like a totally new hybrid of a de-industrialized area?
I think it will. I think it'll be as commercialized in terms of as busy economically as the Third Ward. I don't think it'll have anything to do with the third ward, though.
Yeah,
I think it's the interesting thing about Walker's Point is that there's such a diverse community, and there's so many different, I want to almost say, interests and arts and things that people do out here, that it's going to drive a different type of business. It may drive the same demographic of people investing in it and visiting it on the weekends, but I think the community itself is going to be very adamant about maintaining its identity and its roots and its multicultural diversity that we have in this neighborhood, which will drive a different type of scene, you know, and we could even make it comparable to more artistic type city. If you go out to New York, for example, and you see what's happening out there, and you know, now you see Soho and you think way back, and now you are seeing the transition in the last 15, 20 years of the meatpacking industry, etc. I mean, of those types of things. That's I think what's going to happen here. I think you're going to have still that culturally diverse place. You're going to have that art type of because it is, Walker's Point is very much an art type of artistic type of place. I think you're going to have that identity that's conserved, which is very different from the third ward.
Mm-hmm.
Third ward is closer to right downtown. It's closer to the business center. It's just right there. This is something that you really have to reach out for and look for and want to get to, and I think that part will remain in 30 years. I believe that, and I think it will be just as commercialized and just as busy, and I think there'll be just as much money pumped into it. I think the harbor over here, the port, is going to be revitalized a lot.